Good afternoon, my dear students. Today I am going to explain the story, The Address. In this story, there are only four characters. Okay, don't confuse with that. The main character of this story is the narrator herself, and she is the daughter of Mrs. S. S is the mother of the narrator, and the mother, means the narrator's mother, was the acquaintance of Mrs. Darling, and the address is 46 Marconi Estate. So that is the address where the narrator has visited. So there is no introduction of the narrator's mother, who is uh, named as Mrs. S, and the fourth character is the daughter of Mrs. Darling. So these are the four characters, and we see how the narrator was misguided by Mrs. Darling, one of the acquaintance of the narrator's mother. And now it appears that the narrator's mother is no more. She might be dead. So that's why the narrator all the time keep on thinking on her mind that my mother said like this, my mother had given information like this, about the address, about the lady, about the appearance, about the manner, and at the same time she was reminded by of her childhood days, that how a lady used to visit her house and take some valuable things from narrator's house, with assurance then that when things will become normal, she is going to return it back to them. So I am reading the text. You please see how the things happens there. My mother seemed to notice that I was not entirely convinced. Till here we have done, means the narrator was just going back when she was a child, and when Mrs. Darling used to visit her house, so she was raising questions before her mother, that mother, is this lady going to return us the things she's taking right now in her possession? So on that time, Mrs. Darling, looked at the narrator when she was a child very angrily, and now the things was once again reminded, came in her mind. She looked at me reprovingly, and after that we spoke no more about it. Reprovingly, this shows that the mother is trying to convince, don't baffle, don't speak, and like that. Meanwhile, I had arrived at the station without having paid much attention to things on the way. Means when after visiting the place, after the visiting the address, after visiting Mrs. Darling, who was supposed to carry and keep the luggages and valuable things of narrator's mother and narrator herself, she was not looking anywhere. She was moving straight to the railway station. This shows that she was lost in some memory, she was lost in some thought. I was walking in familiar places again for the first time since the war. This war refers to the World War II, the war between the France and Germany. But I did not want to go further than was necessary. Means he is not going to tell any references of the war and its impact in this story. This shows that she was feeling very painful with the past memory. But I did not want to go further than was necessary. I did not want to upset myself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from a precious time. What was the precious time? the time when she used to live with her mother, okay, and the other family members, and enjoying everything, okay, there at the place. In the train back, I saw Mrs. Darling in front of me again, as I had the first time I met her. It was the morning after the day my mother had told me about her. Means once again the narrator lost in her childhood memories, and once again she was reminded that how Mrs. Darling met first time with my mother, and when and what time I saw her, okay, personally as a child. I had got up late, okay, and coming downstairs, I saw my mother about to see someone out. See how the expression is there, about to see someone out, means saying goodbye, okay, Mrs. Darling. The expression is here, means she is going to say, means some she is going to say someone goodbye, okay. She is going to see of someone uh, outside the door, outside of the house. A woman with a broad bag. She was reminded once again that there was a woman, okay, and she was having a very thick appearance. There is my daughter, the narrator's mother, okay, who is addressed in this story, Mrs. S. So the narrator's mother is giving introduction of the narrator when she was a child to that heavy lady. Who was that? Actually, she was Mrs. Darling. Said my mother, okay, she beckoned to me. Beckoned to me means she called me, okay, by my name. The woman nodded and picked up the suitcase under the coat rack. And she picked up, okay, the luggages and suitcase under the coat rack. She wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. Means again, she is reminded with the past memory about the appearance, about the incident, about the, you know, um, clothes that Mrs. Darling had put on. So this shows that the narrator was very having very nice memory, and she is able to remind or just bring back all the memory. Okay, she wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. Does she live far away? I asked, seeing the difficulty she had going out of the house with the heavy case. Means as a child, the narrator was asking to her mother that the lady who is carrying goods, okay, in a suitcase, it is very heavy for her. So is the distance of her house is very far. Means she was also very much unhappy that why this lady is taking this much, okay, goods at a time. In Marconi Street, this is the address, said my mother, number 46. Remember that. Means she was reminded by her mother that when you will visit, okay, that place, just remember it is Marconi Estate, number 46, and name plate is Mrs. Darling. I had remembered it, means she has learned it, okay, and kept safely in her mind. But I had waited a long time to go there, and now she has reached at the station, and now she was waiting. Initially, wait, means the narrator has developed an urge, the urge of visiting the place, visiting the village, visiting the house, visiting the address where she was supposed to live, okay, years back. So the mother had reminded her that whenever you will visit there, okay, you must visit there in order to take the valuable things of ours that have been kept to Mrs. Darling's house, and the address is Marconi Estate, number 46. Initially, after the liberation, means everything get normal, okay, after 1945 and 46. I was absolutely not interested in all that stored stuff. Miss the narrator is talking about her own intention that when the things got normal, I was not interested to visit and take all the goods, all the valuable things that were stored. And naturally, I was also rather afraid of it. Means he was not willing to visit there and wanted to have all those things because the things were, very much uh, placed in a very much different way. Okay, and even narrator was also frightened also there, and the things were not nicely arranged. Okay, kept nicely there, so it has lost the interest. Actually, the narrator is trying to say that the things that belongs to me, and if it is not taken care of properly for a long time, it lost its value. Or if the things that belongs to me and that have been used by someone else for a long time, so it has lost interest. Okay, and I will no longer be able to take the things back and enjoy once again. So like this, see, this is her feelings. Afraid of being confronted with things that had belonged to a connection that no longer existed. Means she was not going to be troubled by the past memories, because she was thinking that once I will take the valuables thing, okay, or goods and stuffs from the lady, it will remind me of my, a very pathetic past, very troublesome past, very painful past. So she does not want to just take once again back the pain or the painful memory that were associated with the things, the stuffs, that the goods no longer existed, which were hidden away in cupboards and boxes and waiting in vain until they were put back in their place again. Now see, the things were arranged there, okay, which had endured all those years. Endured here refers to suffered. Now see the emotional attachment of the narrator uh, to that things. When see this incident, you can just correlate with your valuable things. Okay, I must emotionally attached thing like a lunchbox, pen, pencil, eraser, sharpener, bag, t-shirt. Okay, any birthday gifts that has been stored by your mother, okay, years back, means 5 years back, 10 years back, when you were in the strength of nursery, LKG, UKG, 1, or any photographs or any good memory, you will feel a kind of nostalgic. Same case is here with the narrator, but your memory is of the good one, but her memory is of the bad one, the painful one. Now see what happens there, which were hidden away after this, that afraid of being confronted with the things that had belonged to a connection that no longer existed, which were hidden away in cupboards and boxes and waiting in vain until they were put back in their place again. This was the thinking about the stuff, about the goods, okay, once belongs to the narrator and used by the narrator, and now the things are no longer in use and they have been kept in boxes, okay, and carton, which had endured all those years because they were things, means suffered, they have not nicely used. But gradually everything became more normal again. Bread was getting to be a lighter color. There was a bed you could sleep in unthreatened, a room with a view. You were more used to glancing at each day. Means initially all these things he is talking right now were prohibited under the impact of war. Germany and France, okay, fighting together and disturbing. the Germany Nazis forces were very strong. And one day I noticed I was curious about all the possession that must still be at that address. And suddenly she developed a love for the things that has been placed somewhere. I wanted to see them, touch. Remember, after my first visit in vain to Mrs. Darling's house, I decided to try a second time. This was the thinking, okay. This was the turning mood of the narrator. Now a girl, and now second time she visits. She did not pick up the train. She leave that, okay. And now she once again come back and visit the house. And when she visited second time to the address, a girl of 15, okay, opened the door to me. I asked her if her mother was at home. No, she said, my mother doing an errand. Means the narrator asked that is your mother is there. The girl who is at the age of 15, according to the narrator's assessment and understanding, the girl said that no, my mother has gone out for some work. No matter, I said I will wait for her. I followed the girl along the passage, that is gallery, an old-fashioned iron Hanukkah. It is a kind of candle container. We don't have that kind of things okay today in our life. Those who are the old churches, mosques, and temples, they had Hanukkah, a kind of container on which candles were put after lighting it for the light. When the candle was replaced, it was lantern and lamp and diya. Now these all things are no longer in use. Diya, lamp are actually placed at the place that is known as some in Hindi. I don't know what is that. That is the mantelpiece. It is mantelpiece, or or on a table. They generally keep it, or it is made in a house, a place. Okay, just like a window. Uh, just like a window structure, a place, okay, where the diyas and the lamps and lanterns are kept there. Just like a Hanukkah, a kind of container, a kind of container in which candles are put. So those who have seen movie, you can see I think in Bajirao Mastani, I think this kind of Hanukkahs are there, and they are using a kind of pipe in order to just uh, they are using a kind of pipe in order to extinguish the diya or lamp. So the place where diyas and lamps are placed or kept, that is known, and okay, that is a kind of iron made iron chain. So that is known as Hanukkah. So it is old fashioned things. Hanukkah candle holder hung next to a mirror. We never used it because it was much more cumbersome than a single candlestick. Cumbersome means very heavy, okay, and very difficult to use that because of its heaviness. The narrator just was reminded that in place of that big Hanukkah, we were using candlestick, a small container in which we could put a candle and then light it and place it, okay, wherever we want lightning. So this much we have done, okay. After that I will just expand. Some paragraphs are still left, so I will complete it tomorrow if God wish. So homework assignments I have given here. Read the story, the address, and based on your understanding, explain the story in your own words in about 150 words. So just like a summary, it is there. So don't write only summary. Just add your own points of view about the narrator, about Mrs. Darling, about the girl, about the daughter of Mrs. Darling, about the mother of the narrator, and about everything. Okay, impact of war, about memory, about emotional attachment of the things. Okay, like this, you all add in this story and explain it. Thank you very much. All the best. God bless you all.